All right, what's going on, everybody? It's Ethan here, and today I've got an awesome and crazy hike for you guys today. I am here at the Wire Pass Trailhead outside of Kanab, Utah. It is about 7 in the morning right now, and it's gonna be a long one today. I'm right here. It's kind of scratched out so you can't really see it, but I'm gonna be hiking the Wire Pass Trail through Wire Pass Slot Canyon into Buckskin Gulch, and then hiking all the way through Buckskin to the confluence with the Paria River, and then hiking up the Paria all the way back up here to the White House campground and trailhead where my car is currently parked. I'm in the beautiful Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument. It's a really beautiful area. I absolutely love driving through here to get to the trailhead. So I'm actually parked at the White House Trailhead, which is my end destination for the day. That's where my car is parked. And shout out to Yermo. He's a local guide out here, and he was kind enough to oblige my request of picking me up at 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning at the White House Trailhead to drive me over here to the Wire Pass Trailhead so I could start the hike. But it's an absolutely beautiful morning. It's pretty chilly right now. It's near freezing. I believe it's about 36 degrees, 35, 36 degrees. So it's pretty cold right now, but I am really excited to do this hike. So Buckskin Gulch is the longest slot canyon in the United States, and possibly the longest slot canyon in the world. I don't think anybody's ever confirmed that, but it's said to be the longest slot canyon in the world. This whole hike is going to be about 22 miles point to point, so it's a very long hike, very difficult. You can see they got the warning about flash floods, very dangerous in slot canyons, and definitely something to keep in mind when you're out here hiking Buckskin. If there's even like a 10-15% chance of rain anywhere near here, don't hike it. Pick another day. It's not worth your life. But anyway, so this is a really popular trailhead. There actually are hardly any people here right now, but here comes another car driving up. But you could see from the trailhead that it's a very large trailhead, and so there's a lot of people that come out here to hike, do little short day hikes of Buckskin. Most people, if they're doing the whole thing, will do it as an overnight backpacking trip. And then this is also the trailhead for the Wave, which is a really popular hike in the North Coyote Buttes area. So the trail splits off for the Wave, I think about a half a mile up from here. And you do need a permit to hike the Wave. It's like a lottery system. It's, from what I've heard, a major pain in the ass to get your hands on a permit for the Wave. And for Buckskin, it's kind of difficult to get a permit for backpacking Buckskin because they only give out 20 per day. But if you want a day hike, it's a $6 self-issue permit at either one of the trailheads. You just pay it, put the little sticker on your car, and you're good to go. So anyway, guys, I'm getting into this. I am excited to show you guys how awesome and crazy this hike is going to be. And I'll see you guys a little further in. All right, so about a half a mile in, and I'm hiking through this wash, and right here is the trail split for the Wave. So if you are going to be hiking the Wave, then this is the way you go, toward Coyote Buttes North. And you can see it has a sign here that you need a permit, and it needs to be purchased in advance and all that good stuff. So if you're hiking the Wave, you hike about a half a mile in on the Wire Pass Trail in the wash, and then your split off's right there. But of course, since I'm going to Buckskin, I'm going to keep heading straight down the wash. And it is absolutely beautiful out here. It is freezing. I haven't really warmed up at all yet because It's just, you know, been really easy hiking so far, but it's a cold morning. But man, is it ever beautiful out here. Okay, about 1.5 miles in, and I am starting to enter the first of many slot canyons today. Well, really just a couple of slot canyons, just really long ones. This is Wire Pass Slot Canyon, and it already looks super cool. That hike through the wash was also really beautiful. The surrounding scenery was amazing. I am really excited about this hike. And I'll tell you, I haven't seen anybody else yet today, and that is a really good feeling, especially when, you know, just the knowledge that you're hiking through an area where normally there would be like a ton of people, but you get to experience it during one of the few times where there's not a ton of people. And look at this. This is incredible. Wow. How freaking cool is this? And looks like I got a little bit of a down climb here. Yeah, this is the little wooden ladder that I've heard about. So Wire Pass is already just incredible. This is awesome. Pretty easy hiking so far. There's that one little down climb, but they have the ladder there, so it's no problem. And so far it's just been kind of doing this where it'll go into a slot and then open back up again and then go back into another slot. But yeah, this is really cool. I mean, especially for how easy of a hike it is to get here, how short and easy it is. I mean, if you're just looking for an easier day hike, Wire Pass is incredible. I mean, this is just freaking mind-blowing through here. Like, look at that. This is a cool slot canyon, my goodness. All right, well, just past that alcove, when you exit that last slot on Wire Pass, you reach the confluence with Buckskin Gulch. So here we are. You can go either way. If you want a shorter hike, you can go to the left, but of course I am going to the right, and this is the way that most people would go from Wire Pass to get to the slot canyon sections of Buckskin, which of course there's going to be quite a few of them, and they're going to go for quite a long time. I am really excited about this. So the confluence with Wire Pass and Buckskin was only about 2 miles in, so pretty easy hiking so far. And I really can't wait to see what's up ahead. Well, how is that for a starting view in Buckskin Gulch? Whoops. Sorry about that. Absolutely incredible. Trying to work the camera with gloves on isn't the easiest thing in the world, but I'm figuring it out. So you can see there's a little bit of like mud in here right now. It's not too bad, but anybody who knows about Buckskin Gulch or, you know, slot canyons in general knows that they tend to hold mud and water. You can see like right here, there's definitely going to be some sections where I'm going to have to walk in mud and water and this lovely thing called canyon soup, which is as gross as it sounds. It's basically just a mixture of, you know, mud and water and whatever else is at the bottom of these canyons. And it's kind of the consistency of like peanut butter or Nutella, except in sharp contrast to peanut butter and Nutella, it smells really bad. So I've heard that Buckskin is it's pretty dry compared to what it can be. Like there's a lot of times where people have to wade through like waist deep water, and I shouldn't have to do any of that today, but there's definitely going to be some spots where I'm going to have to deal with mud and water and canyon soup and all that stuff. That just kind of goes along with the experience if you want to hike Buckskin. It's unavoidable. But as a payoff, you get beautiful views like this for miles and miles. So here's a good example of how crazy flash floods can be. Big piece of debris, just a big log wedged up there in the canyon wall, way up high there. I mean, that's at least 25, maybe 30 feet up. And just goes to show you how high those walls of water that come crashing through this canyon can be. And let me tell you something. I have learned very quickly that when it comes to the mud and water in Buckskin, you just gotta embrace the suck. At first I was trying to avoid it, but it's, I mean, even just the little bits that I've encountered so far, there's been some spots where it's just unavoidable. So, you know, bring changes of socks. I brought a couple of changes of socks, and, you know, also bring water shoes or something like that if you want, especially if it's, you know, a really wet time of the year in Buckskin. But yeah, like I said, just embrace the suck. Enjoy the views and forget about the fact that you're hiking through canyon soup sometimes. 'Cause man, is it absolutely incredible in here. Wow, look at this. That is a gigantic log. I mean, that's like a whole tree. And then there's all of that too. Flash floods are no joke. Man, look at all that debris up there. That is crazy. It just all got piled in right through here. That is insane. So Buckskin's opened up quite a bit through this section, but I mean, it's just a whole different kind of beauty through here. This is really, really cool. The colors on the canyon walls are like just jaw-droppingly beautiful, and I'm seeing tons of these huge alcoves carved into the rocks. Going back into some narrows. Pretty sure I've already taken over 100 pictures, by the way. I swear this is like one of those places where every time you turn a corner, it just makes your jaw drop. Like every single time. I have a feeling there aren't going to be many boring parts of this hike. Yeah, Buckskin is quite a long slot canyon, that's for sure. It's 14 miles one way to go all the way through Buckskin, and of course the whole hike is longer than that, but the actual portion of the hike where you're in Buckskin is 14 miles. This is just so cool though. Well, this is a really cool little spot. Not sure if there's an easy way through here or it requires some scrambling. But it looks like there's some big chalk stones right here. And then some debris partially blocking it too. And it looks like you just crawl in through there, I guess. That's a tight little fit right there. Very tight fit. Okay, well that was actually a little too tight. So I scrambled up here and I'm kind of on this ledge on the canyon wall right now. And I don't want to go back down there because it looks like there's some nasty stuff down in there. And I'm wondering if I can bypass it by staying on the ledge. I'll see if it goes. Really deep section of the canyon here. I cannot tell you how many times at this point that I've just turned the corner and just been like, damn. Like, god damn. Because every time you turn the corner, it's something different. I mean, it's all similar, but it's different enough that your mind just gets blown like over and over and over again. I'm about 5 miles in to Buckskin now, so, well, 5 miles in on the hike total. About 3 miles into Buckskin. And it's just insane. I mean, look at these canyon walls. This is so cool, all these spots where moss is growing on the canyon wall. This section here is definitely pretty muddy. I would say this is probably the muddiest spot I've encountered thus far on the trail. Well, there was my little break spot right in this little alcove here. Very cool. Nice place for a snack and water break. And I'll tell you, it is starting to get crazy to me that I haven't seen a single other person in here yet. That was not expected. Because, I mean, at this point, I've been hiking for 2.5 hours. I'm about 6.5 miles in. And, I mean, given like the permit system and everything, I figured that there was going to be a pretty steady flow of people in here. But evidently not. Because not only has it been quiet, but I've literally seen no people. This is a really cool section of the canyon. The walls are just like so high, it's crazy. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, that this is not only the longest slot canyon, but also the deepest, because I think it gets close to like 500 feet deep at some points, which is just insane. And I don't even think I've gotten to that part yet. Over here, the walls look like they're maybe 200, a little over 200 feet high. Definitely not 400 or 500. This is a really cool spot here. This is just back there. That was like one of the narrowest sections of the canyon yet. And now we're going into another really deep, dark spot here with the big overhangs. I swear, I've had my camera out so much on this hike, and I'm not even halfway done. It's crazy. I mean, look at that. That is so freaking cool. That is amazing. Well, just hit the first spot with some seriously unavoidable water, and it was a little past the ankles, so it wasn't too bad, but there was mud under the water, so it wasn't like rocks, it was like all mud, so that part was not too pleasant. But this is all just part of the Buckskin Gulch experience. So I don't know if I'm starting to get towards the deepest part, but the narrows through here have, I mean, these walls are at least 300 feet. And it has definitely gotten muddier, I will say that. It's still mostly dry. I mean, I really can't complain because Buckskin is known for having spots where people have to wade through like waist or even chest deep water. There are times where you could hike this where like literally the whole thing would just be mud. Oh, look at this. So that is a dead coyote. And I actually knew that this was going to be here because this marks close to the halfway point through Buckskin Gulch. So this is, believe it or not, it's being used as a trail marker. I guess nobody wants to come in here and get this dead coyote out of here. It appears to have plummeted to its death from the top of the canyon. I gotta tell you, I was just about to say I expected it to smell worse, but when I got downwind of it, it hit me. That's not pleasant. But anyway, so that means that I'm close to the halfway point, and I should be getting to the point where you can, it's like there's like an exit point somewhere around here. I don't know if this is it right here or what. Where this ladder is maybe. I don't know. It kind of seems like it leads to nowhere. But anyway, yeah. That's cool. Making progress. Well, this is the first real like open area of the canyon since getting in, which is pretty cool. Maybe the midway point exit is somewhere around here, because there's definitely some ways I could see that you could climb out of the canyon without the use of ropes. But yeah, this is really cool. And I'll tell you, it is nice to know that my my phone is actually accurate on mileage, because this morning when Yermo was dropping me off at the trailhead, he told me that the dead coyote that they're using as a trail marker is 8 miles in on the hike. So that's how you know that you're 8 miles in. And I looked at my phone, and sure enough, it said 8.1 miles. So good to know that my phone is actually giving me accurate mileage, because what I'm doing is, instead of using the GPS, because I know the GPS is going to be completely inaccurate, instead I'm using the step counter, the pedometer on my phone, and it records mileage based on the number of steps you've taken rather than using a GPS. And seems to be working so far. And it looks like for the first time all morning, I'm going to be getting into some sun here. Beautiful, beautiful place. That might be one of the craziest things I've ever seen. That boulder lodged up there. That boulder is legitimately as big as a house. Like, that is not an exaggeration. That is a house-sized boulder. That is freaking crazy. Can't be sure, but this might be the deepest part right here, because the walls here are, I mean, you can't even see the top because of the glare, but they are definitely, I'd say, over 400 feet tall. So this part of the canyon is crazy deep. Going into another slot, and look how freaking tall this canyon is right now. That is insane. That is close to 500 feet right there. This is absolutely wild. And I still really can't believe the lack of people. I mean, I don't know if, like, when I start getting closer to the White House Trailhead, maybe I'll start seeing some more people. But I've seen like 3 people the whole freaking day. It's crazy. Well, this is definitely in competition for the deepest I've been in Buckskin. And also the narrowest part. These are some really cool looking narrows through here. Now, of course, Buckskin never really gets narrow to the point where it's like, you know, you're squeezing through. But this is awesome. A little muddy in here. Okay, so I made it to the Moki Step area. I'll show you those in a second, but I'll tell you, there's no real easy way to get through here. I found that I came around there, scrambled over there, and then dropped down here, and then kind of slid down this rock. I used the rope for a little bit of help, but I didn't exactly trust these ropes too much. But yeah, once you get down here, you're just kind of beneath all these big boulders and chalk stones. And so from here, right now, you can actually just go right under, really easy. Now, during certain times, after like flash floods and stuff like that, you actually might not be able to get through it this way because this will all be blocked with debris. So if that's the case, then you kind of got to be a little more, live a little more dangerously and use these little steps carved into the rock here. And those are called the Moki Steps. And you go down, you basically scramble up along the canyon wall and then drop down to there and then just walk back over here. But luckily for me, didn't have to do it because those steps do look sketchy. They don't look as bad from down here, but I looked at them from up top because I was debating which way I wanted to go. And that looked real sketchy, I got to tell you. Now that's a new one. There's like a big 55-gallon drum wedged in between those two rocks there. And looks like I'm going under another house-sized boulder here. And I think I should be within maybe 2 miles of the where the campsites are, where backpackers will set up their camps for the night. And I think I might be, not too sure about this, but I might be about 4 miles from the confluence with the Paria. This may just be some of the nastiest water I've ever seen. So there's an area in Buckskin they call it the cesspool. And it's basically an area where there's just like this just ridiculously gross, stagnant water. And I know the canyon's like mostly dry right now. So I'm wondering if maybe this area is where the cesspool is. And it's just like more dry than normal, because the water levels in the canyon are so low in general right now. I'm not sure. Somebody in the comments tell me if you know about Buckskin, because I think I'm like close to 14 miles in on this hike. So if that's about the area where the cesspool is, let me know. Because this definitely, I would call this a cesspool. It's pretty gross. But luckily, not very deep. Not even ankle deep. Not positive, but I think I might be coming up on the campsites here. If it's not here, it should be coming up pretty soon, but I don't know. I saw one little spot that looked like it could have been a campsite, but I'm not seeing any others, so maybe not. I got myself into a jam here too. I gotta cross over this. Whoops. Okay, so this came up way quicker than I thought it would. This is the confluence right here. So this is the Paria River, and I'm gonna be going up this way, up Paria Canyon. And from here, I think I have about 6.5 miles to get back to the White House Trailhead. But yeah, I was not expecting this. When I turned the corner and saw that the river was right here, I was like, I had to double check and make sure this was actually the Paria. But it is. So this is officially the end of Buckskin Gulch. Got really lucky going through there. Nothing more than like ankle deep in terms of water. Not very much mud at all. And overall, a really beautiful, pleasant hike. The Paria is obviously going to be a little different because, well, it's a river, so it's got water. But yeah, this is really cool. And by the way, should be noted that I'm pretty much standing on the Arizona-Utah state line right now. So, I mean, literally, if you walked right over there, pretty much right there to where the sun is hitting, that's Arizona. And if you were hiking, if you're doing a backpacking trip down to Lee's Ferry, you would actually go right here, go down into Arizona, and I believe it's another like 25, maybe more miles from here to get to Lee's Ferry. But anyway, let's see how cold this water is. Paria Canyon is incredible. It's definitely a little wider than Buckskin was for the most part, but it's just kind of a different experience. And it's nice to be in the sun for, you know, looks like probably for most of the hike up to Paria, I'll actually be in the sun. And I'll tell you, this water is not warm. It is very cold water. And you can see that's kind of how deep it is in most places. It's not too deep, so it's not really that bad to hike through. And on the plus side, the cold water is actually kind of making my feet feel less sore. It's having like a nice little healing effect on my feet. Because, you know, being that I'm, you know, like 15 miles into this hike, obviously my feet are getting a little sore. And I'm hiking through some serious mud right now. Almost prefer the water over this, but the truth of the matter is that if I get back in the water, chances are the water is going to have a bunch of mud underneath it. So it's definitely, I'd say, a little slower going hiking through Paria Canyon than it was through Buckskin, but of course that all just depends on when you come out here. I mean, for me, Buckskin was almost entirely dry, but you know, a week from now they could get a big rain, Buckskin could flood, and then you'll be waist deep in nasty canyon water. All right, well, as you can see, Paria Canyon is definitely getting wider and wider the further up I go. And if my phone is to be believed, which I have no reason to doubt it, it's proved its accuracy today in a couple of cases. But anyway, if my phone is to be believed, then it looks like I've got about just under 4 miles left to get back to the White House Trailhead, which is awesome. And as predicted, now I am just completely in the sun, and it feels like it's about, I'd say it's probably in the high 60s right now, like 67, 68. Feels really good. It's definitely a sharp contrast to this morning when it was like basically freezing. But yeah, it's really beautiful out here. Paria Canyon definitely is a beautiful canyon in its own right. I'd say it's slightly less jaw-dropping after having gone through Buckskin, but still really beautiful. And yeah, like I said, got about 4 miles to go, or I think it's probably like 3 and 3/4, something like that, to get back to the trailhead. And I'm feeling pretty good, actually, despite being on like mile 18 now. I'm feeling pretty good. All right, well, I am still hiking along the Paria River, and I am down to my last mile. And that is just crazy. One more mile. And I will be back at the White House Trailhead, where my car is eagerly awaiting my return. My car, and also a clean pair of shoes and socks. All right, guys. Well, I made it. There's the White House Trailhead right there, and my car is parked right over there. I cannot believe it. This was an incredible hike, and my phone has been very accurate to the mileage the whole day. It's clocked me in at 21 and a quarter miles. So just a quarter mile over what the BLM says the hike is, which that's pretty awesome. So, my God, I can't believe I just did that. That is a new personal best for me. My previous personal best for hiking was, of course, the Grand Canyon, which was about 20 miles exactly. So this topped it by 1.25 miles, which is just insane, just awesome. I legitimately can't believe it. So, obviously, I highly recommend this hike to anybody looking to see some amazing scenery and, of course, get a chance to hike through the biggest, or the longest and deepest slot canyon in the world. Not to mention the beautiful hike up through Paria Canyon. Lots of mud and water, but it's all just part of the fun. That was absolutely incredible. I am pretty beat right now, but I'm actually feeling better than I thought I would feel at the end of a 21-mile hike. So that's a plus. But yeah, just incredible. Really awesome from start to finish. This whole thing took me just under 9 hours to get back to the White House Trailhead. So I think my time was really good on this. I was expecting it to take at least 10, and it ended up taking under 9. So anyway, guys, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you guys soon for another awesome hiking adventure from, could be anywhere. See you guys soon.